Hi, welcome. Before we get into any training, before we talk about scripts, properties, and commission percentages, I want to talk to you for a minute about why you're actually here. Not the answer you'd give someone if they asked, the real one. Most people will tell you they're here to make more money, and that's true. But if making more money was the whole story, you'd have found a way to do it already. You're capable enough, you're smart enough. So let me ask you something a little more honest. Is there a bill sitting on your kitchen counter right now that you don't know how you're going to pay? Is there something your kids need? Something simple, something that most people don't even think twice about that you've been putting off because you just can't afford it? Do you go to work every single day and come home knowing that no matter how hard you work, that job is never going to get you where you actually want to be? I'm not asking to make you feel bad. I'm asking because I want you to remember that feeling, because that feeling is your fuel, and you need to know where the fuel is before you can use it. Let me ask you something else. Has anyone in your life, a friend, a family member, someone you respect, looked at what you're trying to do and said something like, "That's not going to work," or "Why are you wasting your time with that?" or just giving you that look? You know, the look. The one that says they don't believe in you without saying a single word. Maybe they laughed. Maybe they were more subtle about it. Maybe they were trying to protect you from disappointment. But either way, it stings. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you're wondering if they're right. I'm going to tell you something I want you to hold on to. The people who are not willing to do what you are doing right now, watching this, learning this, preparing to make calls, and feel uncomfortable, those people don't get to have an opinion about your outcome. They are standing still and watching you move. And the day you close your first deal, you will not even remember what they said. Here's what separates the people who make it in this business from the ones who don't. It is not talent. It is not experience. It is not connections or luck or knowing the right people. It is the willingness to pick up the phone when you don't feel like it. It is sending the follow-up email on a Tuesday night after you've already worked an exhausting full day. It is making one more call when every instinct you have is screaming at you to stop. That's it. That's the whole secret. And the beautiful, brutal truth is that most people won't do it. Not because they can't, because they won't. And that gap between the people who will and the people who won't is exactly where your opportunity lives. What you're building here is not a second job. It is a skill, a real compounding skill that gets better every single week you practice it. The first call you make will be uncomfortable. That's normal. The 10th call will be easier. The 50th call will feel like a conversation. And somewhere along the way, you're going to have a deal come together and you are going to feel something you haven't felt in a long time. You're going to feel like you did it. Not your boss, not your company, not some system that was built to keep you exactly where you are. You. You did it. So when you sit down and make calls and it feels hard, and it will feel hard sometimes, I want you to have something specific to reach for. Not a goal, a feeling. The feeling of walking into your kid's room and being able to say yes to something you used to have to say no to. The feeling of paying off something that has been hanging over you for what seems like an eternity. The feeling of calling someone who doubted you, not to say I told you so, but because you genuinely don't need their validation anymore. That's what's on the other side of the phone calls you haven't made yet. The training starts in video 1. We're going to cover what Tobin LLC is, the philosophy behind everything we do, and the exact method we use in every conversation with agents and sellers. But before you watch that, I want you to do one thing. Write down the real reason you're here, not the polished version, the honest one, the one that keeps you up at night. Put it somewhere you'll see it when you don't want to make the next call, because that reason, that real, personal, uncomfortable reason is the thing that's going to make you successful when the training materials and the scripts and the strategies aren't enough. We're glad you're here. Now let's get to work.